All right, we got to talk about the Juan Soto historic deal that he's signing to become a Met with Jon Heyman, MLB and New York Post insider. John, thanks for hopping on with us earlier this morning. You broke the news late last night. There's a lot of money being thrown at Juan. The Yankees weren't that far off in terms of average money per season, but ultimately he chose to go to Queens. So why do you think he chose Queens over the Bronx?
Well, we got to be reasonable about it. Steve Cohen was obviously the most motivated guy. I guess in a sense this was predictable, but there were a lot of twists and turns in this. And certainly 24 hours earlier, I think the Yankees felt fairly confident that they had a good shot at this with both teams in the same neighborhood in terms of the price. And they were in that same neighborhood for a long time. And someone may look at it and say they still in the same neighborhood, but the Mets added some perks, the $75 million signing bonus. He lives in Florida, so that's extra. I mean, Cohen was the most motivated owner of anybody, and really, we got to just chalk this one up to Steve Cohen ultimately, and that is why he is a Met.
We're talking a lot of money, man. History was made. This contract, we haven't seen anything like this before. So how is this going to shape future contracts for free agents coming up?
Oh, man, that is something. I mean, I was in this very same hotel, as you can see by the drapes behind me. They haven't made a change in the 24 years since A-Rod signed in this hotel for $252 million. Juan Soto. A lot of changes in baseball, though. 3 times the price, $765 million, even more perks than A-Rod got from Texas. We are in Dallas. We'll see. It is cyclical. I remember last winter when a lot of free agents didn't sign until very late, probably didn't get exactly what they were hoping for. This winter, it has been something different. I mean, the low end of the market, with Boyd signing a big deal, with Montas signing a pretty big deal, the middle of the market with Severino, Kikuchi, big contracts. I mean, I do predictions every year. So far, all but one have gone over my prediction. But again, this is cyclical. We'll see what happens next year. Obviously, baseball is feeling they're doing pretty well. There were some TV issues, but I guess with that, they've got it figured out. They're going to do well with the streaming. I don't know, but right now it seems like several teams are very aggressive. 5 big market teams going huge for Soto. And you're right, this is unprecedented. I mean, we got that Ohtani got $700 million, but this is not just $765 million. It's no deferred, right? So this is actually worth $765 million. The Ohtani deal was estimated to be worth between $437 and $460 million. So this is $300 million more. I get he's younger. You know, obviously he's an all-time great hitter, but I mean, Ohtani is one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely. Ohtani is, they call him Showtime for a reason. I'm going to make sure my son puts the football down and picks up a baseball bat with this type of money. But, John, there are a lot of salty Yankees fans out there. So what's the next move for the Yankees? Like, who could they go after that could come close to Soto's, not only his production, but just his overall moxie and swag?
Well, I don't know if they're going to match the moxie and the swag. I think that ship has sailed, but they certainly could. If they do it right, they certainly will be a very good team. Certainly the $760 million they saved, they've got money to spend. So they're talking to everybody right now. We know they've talked to Fried and Burns on the pitching front. They've looked at Bregman potentially for third base. At first base, they've talked to Alonso, Walker, maybe Carlos Santana, Santander potentially for the outfield. They probably should check in with Teoscar Hernandez. I haven't heard that. I think he's probably going to the Dodgers. You've heard the Red Sox and the Jays with him. But, I mean, the Yankees can spend a lot now. I don't expect them to spend the $760 million they saved because, let's face it, I mean, the Soto deal, at least from the Yankee perspective, without a $75 million signing bonus, is spread out over 16 years. So, they're not going to sign guys for $760 million over the next 3-4 years, whatever. So they've got plenty of money to spend. I think they will get some great players. The moxie and the swag, they're not getting that.
Yeah, that right there is irreplaceable. When we talk about, that phrase, to whom much is given, much is required, they just gave Soto $760+ million. So does he now have that Aaron Judge-like pressure on him? And is he now required to bring a World Series to Queens?
Yeah, I think he loves pressure. I mean, look, he's had pressure since he turned down $440 million. And not everybody, but most people told him he was nuts. And look, since then he made the $50 million over the 2 years. plus now 765 million. He's over 800 million. He's doubled it. So there's been pressure on him all along. There's pressure when you're in your walk year. There was pressure in the playoffs. He has absolutely thrived on pressure. I'm not worried about him. He will be great. I mean, there'll be a debate whether he's worth this kind of money. I get that because this is an unprecedented deal. Forget the perks. 765 million, large, 765. I mean, it's unbelievable. This deal is really incredible, and it's amazing that there were multiple other teams in that same neighborhood in terms of the price. I mean, people just love him. They think he's an all-time great hitter. I think that's fair. I think he's an all-time great hitter. But the equation has changed, shall we say. This is not like Ohtani. It's not just that he's 26 years old. It's also he didn't have a geographic preference like Ohtani obviously did as we look back on it. He would have gone to L.A. He would have gone to Toronto. He would have gone to Boston. He had all the big teams in there. I mean, this was a typical free agency where he went for the best deal. Ohtani's making $50 million plus off the field by himself. He does not seem concerned about money. If he was, he wouldn't have had his best friend steal $17 million out from under him, right? And he's a rare guy who doesn't care about the money. Yeah. So, this is a more typical free agency, and except for the fact that it's above and beyond anybody else by a lot.
Last question, because I know you got to get out of here, get to the meeting. So, as of now, on paper, who runs New York, Yankees or the Mets?
You know what? We knew that when Steve Cohen got the team, and give the Yankees credit for endorsing him as a candidate to be owner. I think they ushered him in. It's not that easy to get the approval of all of these owners. They certainly are an opinionated lot. So, at this point, I think it's probably getting close to split. I mean, the Yankees do have more fans. They have more money. Their attendance is much better. But I think the sales offices in Flushing are very, very busy today and will be. And it's almost 50-50. We shall see on the field. That will ultimately determine it. The Mets have had their moments, certainly. But, it's tough to beat the Yankees. They are the marquee team, and not only in baseball, but, I don't know soccer, but in professional sports in the United States, they're the Celtics, the Lakers, the Cowboys. That's the Yankees. So it's tough to beat them in terms of the prestige, but this could be a Met moment that lasts a little bit of time. I don't know if it lasts the whole 15 years, but it's going to last certainly at least 5 until that opt-out.
Absolutely. The Soto Show heads out to Queens. Jon Heyman, you've been on top of this the entire time. Thank you for joining us this morning.
All right, thanks.